Hey guys, uh, Liam and Chatter. We're coming to you. I guess Liam and Chatter's your name.
Already
Hardpoint,
killing it.
already
Yeah.
killing it. Let's do this.
Love it.
Hardpoint and Chatter here. We're on the team of the Splinterlands team. Tonight we are starting our first of hopefully many, if people like it, of Learn to Play. I know it sounds really fancy, but we're actually just here to play and hang out. We were like, let's see if we can. We work for a gaming company. What if we just played a game and we said this was our job? And wait a minute, it was our job, so we could do that. So we're excited to do this. So we're thinking it'd be fun to like hang out and play some of the game. We actually were like, okay, let's see what we could do if we start with nothing and see how far we can go. Now, disclaimers. A couple of things. We'll get better at this over time, but just everybody, we're in Twitch. If you're seeing a restream, we're actually in Twitch. If you want to come talk to us, Twitch is the place to come talk to us. Please keep everything PG-13. You are welcome to express your opinion, but as we say here in the Splinterverse, the message is always welcome, whether it's positive or negative, but the delivery, keep it professional and clean. That's what we just ask. We're here to have a good time. So we just request you that. So great to have everybody here tonight. Liam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm a little bit upset. My green screen was supposed to come on Wednesday and didn't come on time, so I'm occupying this little tombstone right here right now. But otherwise, doing great. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good. I had such a great town hall today. I was having a lot of fun on there. Just kind of getting the 2022 kicked off and starting to dig into what we're going to do. But we're not here to do that. We're not here to like talk work. We're here to play work, right? Play, I guess. So let's dive into this. Let's start doing something.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people that are joining us for this first time, when they see this, they're gonna be like, well, what's Splinterlands? Liam, what do you tell people when your friends, when you roll up and you're like, hey, what do you do? And you're like, well, I work for Splinterlands. What do you tell them? Like, what's your first instinct to tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the easiest always go to is it's kind of like the love child of like trading card, like physical trading card games meets Hearthstone kind of thing. And so whether that's Magic the Gathering or Pokemon, I think most people have some familiarity within that trading space, whether it's trading as a kid or like collecting cards or whatever else, or even like the animated series. I think that's really kind of the first place that people go to when you think about trading card games. But the really cool thing about Splinterlands is having everything on the blockchain and being able to essentially replicate that game where it is these kind of each individual card holds its own assets. You're able to trade them and play them and sell them and do all that fun stuff, but in a digital aspect is really amazing. And so I think that's kind of always the big selling pitch that wins over my friends is just, hey, remember when we used to play Magic the Gathering or Pokemon cards? Well, now we can do that online, and you can also create your own economy. You can actually have some say in how this game gets created. So you're like creating that whole system from the ground up and being able to have input at it, like in it as a player itself. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I always tell people when I say, an NFT collectible card game, and then they say, well, what is that? And I'm like, well, imagine if you owned cards in a game that you could sell and rent. And they're like, well, that sounds pretty cool. And then I'm like, yeah, I think it is pretty cool. It's like Web 3.0. I guess that's what everybody calls it nowadays, is Web 3.0 is where you own your stuff. Because, I mean, we were talking about this the other night. Like, we were longtime gamers. And, I've lived through the last like 10 or 15 years where gaming has transitioned from where you pay $60 or whatever it is, and you buy a game, you go home, you play it as much as you want, then, it sits on a shelf, to welcome to the world of where most games you can go in and play them for free, except if you want to own anything that looks cool, cosmetic, you start funneling large volumes of money to the company, and those cosmetics you buy are completely owned by the company. So, like, I'm loving the idea that for once, we're able to actually like come in here and like own the actual things we invest in the game. So like, instead of us going to a company and dumping money into it, we're actually able to put money into the game, and I hold the value. And if I want to, at some point later, I can sell it, or if I want to make a little bit of passive income, or depending on what you put in, I can rent it out. So there's like this, and you can earn rewards with it and all that kind of stuff. I think that's really cool. So I know everybody's like, we want to see you play. So, but I mean, like, and I just want to say that just for people that are like brand new to this world, that's really the core of why we're here, is like to help share that kind of experience and like help people that have never experienced Splinterlands to kind of get a feel for what it is by seeing this video. So yeah, collectible card game is really the best way to think about it, except you own your cards on the blockchain. And I think that's fantastic. It's one of the things that I get excited about. So, well, let's dive into it. We're here on the platform. I'm sitting on the battle screen, but if you get on our website at splinterlands.com, you're going to see this screen. And obviously, we've already had people like throwing challenges up. I don't think we're ready for that yet. We appreciate it. We're not ready for that yet right now. But you get here, you get the game. There's some good info to get you kind of logged in here. You'll notice if you go to our shop right now today, and this will change. So I don't want to spend a lot of time, because what you're going to see here is this is our pre-sale for our current expansion called Chaos Legion. And that general sale starts in 5 more days. On the 17th, actually, this is part of the pre-sale ends. So you can see here, but this is the pre-sale. But when you come here, this is a place in the shop where you can buy packs. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff here, which we'll eventually talk about in a future stream. But we're going to focus more on what these packs are. Packs are made up of 5 cards. And when you jump into those, open those packs, it's like going to the store and physically purchasing like a pack, and like you don't know what's in that pack. So one of the cool things is when you buy that pack, you can choose to hold on to it because it actually has value. I think this is one of those things you're going to hear this common theme when we talk about the player actually holding value is you actually could turn around and sell that to someone. You don't have to actually open it. And then like I could sell it to you, Liam. You could then hold on to it, sell it to someone else. I think that's really cool. But if you open it, it's randomized, but it's actually deterministically random. So like when you open it, it's recorded on the blockchain. You get, based on percentage chance, you get a certain set of cards that come out. They can be anything from common all the way up to legendary, and they do all kinds of things inside the game, which is fun because this is one of the other things that I love. I love the fact that our card game is on the blockchain. It is NFTs, but also guess what? It's actually a playing card game where the NFTs have intrinsic value back in the game. So like, isn't that amazing to you, Liam? Like the fact that you can actually do something with NFT. So many places are just selling right now NFTs, but they don't mean anything. They're just like, you own something digitally, but like you can't do anything with it. Like, how did that strike you when you first heard that concept?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, like, I guess backing up even a little bit more too is I see 1,001 memes going through like my Instagram every day, being like, "Oh, here's this NFT or that's this NFT or whatever." But the really cool thing is like whenever I'm introducing my friends to the game, and you say, "Hey, here's the reason that we actually built it on the blockchain, and here's all the utility that you get out of it, and then here's the reason that we're doing kind of all the things that we're doing." It's just like they do a complete 180, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I get it now. Like this actually makes sense." It's not necessarily because we're just trying to be that like greedy corporate company who's trying to make money and just kind of latch on to the newest fad. It's really just, oh, hey, we're building this game that we want to be able to give power to our players and let them build up this economy and let them really like influence everything. So yeah, I mean, it's been super cool to see how this game's progressed, and really excited to see kind of what these new 2022 updates are going to be coming along. And land, I want land.
I know, like, well, let's not get distracted because I feel like we can really get distracted into land.
Yeah.
But oh, look, we already have somebody giving us power. Oh gosh, guys, you're already doing this to us. I told Liam it would take us. Yeah,
he said that we can give it away too. So thank you for the.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the gift. We'll take a peek. Let's take a peek at what we got. Now, this is what's cool. Someone gifted us a card, but what is that? That's like, let's take a peek at this. Oh my gosh. This is one of our like pretty awesome cards. I love this card, but you can see right here. Actually, this is a great thing. You know, Unit QM. Thank you. And let's talk about what these cards do. Let's talk about what we're looking at here, just for everybody that's new to this game. the top left, this is your mana. So this is how much it costs to be able to include this card in your deck. If you see over here, you got 2 other stats. So this is magic attack. This specific card, there's melee attack and magic and ranged. And so this is actually saying that this character can do 1 magic attack. And there's also, this is actually, the below it is actually speed. This little indicator is telling how fast. And what that means is what the order of play that the card will have when it tries to determine when it attacks. And then over here on this right side is a heart, and that's how much health it is. So it can take 2 damage before it dies. This other little diamond-shaped number here is the level of the card. Now, this is another interesting thing about our economy. And I think a lot of people, when they come into the game, they're like, oh, it's a collectible card game and I can buy things. Well, one of the things about being collectible is scarcity. It's so important. And so a lot of people, if you're new to this kind of market, is these cards, there's not an infinite amount of them. There is a specific finite amount of them on the market. Now, with levels, what makes this interesting is this specific card is only a level 1 card, and there is actually multiple levels that can have. But the only way to level it up is you have to have multiple of the same card, and then you have to do a one-way action of combining them together. And when you combine them together, you are, and I kind of use this word, we use this word in NFT world, burning it. And what that means is you are no longer have access to those other cards. You're combining it to one card. It goes up in level and it gets better, more powerful, more stats, all this kind of stuff. But what does that do to our economy? It's scarcity. Since there's a limited number of these cards, when you combine them together, you're actually making the card even scarcer in the world. Because you say, let's say you combine 5 of them together, there's no longer 5, there's just 1 level 2 card. And so you got to understand that's like part of the cool thing about this economy is as people buy these cards, combine them, they're actually creating more scarcity to be able to play the game. And I think that's pretty interesting for a lot of our people out there. So just also looking at this, so this is an ability here. He has camouflage, and there's a little description there that says this monster cannot be targeted for attacks unless it's in the first position. And we'll get into that in a second. We'll talk about what positions are and all that. I know everyone's chomping at the bit. They want us to just play. But remember, guys, like I'm just reminding everybody, we're trying to give everyone like a really quick introduction to the game. So like if someone opened up this stream later, they would really have an idea of what this game's about. So these are, abilities here that a card has. And then this right here, this little symbol right here tells you what splinter the card is. Now, splinters are, just think of it as there's like 7 splinters, I believe, off the top of my head. It's like death and life and nature. Earth and water and like 2 more. I'm almost memorized them all. But each of those have. There's 6. 6. Okay. Yeah. Well, I haven't memorized everything yet. So all of our older players are just going to laugh at me right now as I show my true colors and how much I know every single aspect of this game. And I'm sure a lot of them out there, and there's neutrals too. Thank you.
I forgot about neutrals. There you go.
Yeah, neutrals. So we'll get into that. So thank you for that gift. So we'll look over here. Let's jump over to our card collection and let's see what cards we got. So these are cards that are playable by us right now. We can say owned. Look, there it is. That's the 1 card we just got. Now, here's a funny thing. When you first start playing with our game and you purchase a spell book, which is where we're at right now, and that spell book right now is $10 in the store. The price could change in the future depending on how things change, but right now it's $10. You get buying into the game, and what that does is we use that money to actually created a what's fancy crypto term called wallet, but you have a wallet on the Hive blockchain. And what that means, that wallet is where we put all your assets. And what's cool about it is this card is linked to our wallet right now. And you don't need to know that. If you noticed, I didn't have to do anything fancy. I didn't have to do anything. I received something. I didn't even know there's a blockchain here. We're just playing a video game. So if you just want to come in and play a video game, you can. But if you want to go deeper into crypto, which we will kind of tiptoe you into, is you'll be able to see that. Now, when you first buy in right now, and these things can change, we also give you playable cards. These are, people call them ghost cards. They're account bound, soul bound cards. You can call them all that. We give them to you. You can't sell them. You can't rent them, but you can use them to play. Or not. Where am I here? Let's see. They're all playable, and Is this all in our account? Wow, this is a lot of cards. This can't be all the cards. That's 30? I thought there was a certain limited number.
Everything playable is on the soulbound selection right now.
Oh, okay, okay, that's right. So these are all the cards we have access to, and look at all the wonderful art. I think this is one of the fun things that I've really enjoyed about being a part of Splinterlands is just the incredible art that our team produces. So you can just see all these wonderful. So like this is a Splinter right here. You're looking at Fire Splinter right here. Here is the Water Splinter right here, and here is our Earth Splinter with all the green. And then here is these are neutrals, right? The star is neutral, I believe, right? Or that's life.
That's
Life
life, and then yeah.
is the neutrals. That's the battle, right? The battle symbol's the neutral. See, like, look, I'm learning too.
It's the cross swords. You can filter for it in the element section at the very top there too, if you wanted to.
Okay.
Axler had a good kind of call out in the chat there as well, which is all the soulbound cards, so everything that's playable right off the bat right now, or everything in our Untamed collection, as well as the Chaos Legion collection. So every time that we release new collections, we're going to be kind of updating the playable card sets just based on kind of what that format's going to look like, and that's also going to play a part into kind of how we're going to be featuring our ranked going forward. So we're going to be splitting it out into two different sections. One is going to be kind of ranked wild, and then the other one's going to be standard. So standard is going to be just only those two playable collections that we just talked about there. So Untamed and the Chaos Legion ones. And then wild's just going to be kind of free for all. Everything goes.
Absolutely. And what Rexon was pointing out that you can even buy your spell book with a PayPal account. Like you don't even need to know anything about crypto right now to get in the game. You literally can jump on our website with PayPal, $10 in PayPal right now. You are on the blockchain as soon as you do that. Like that. And like what blows people's minds when I tell them, I'm like, yeah, go do our game, go play it. People jump in, they're like, oh, like that. And I said, do you realize you own a wallet on a blockchain now? And they're like, what? I'm like, that is so cool. That's something that I'm really excited about too, is that one of the visions that a lot of us here in the company have is to see crypto go more mainstream, to really get more people adopting crypto. And, we appreciate that perspective. And so we're going to be driving more and more. And a concept that I keep preaching, that I'm going to keep preaching this until it becomes mainstream, is frictionless crypto. And it's the whole idea that like mainstream, regular, average people don't have to be hardcore to know how to get into crypto and use crypto. And it's seamless, it's fluid, it makes a lot of sense. And we think gaming is a great platform to bring people into crypto. So, oh, look, we got another gift. We hang out long enough. We might have to do this full time. I think we may have to quit our jobs. A gargoyle.
Yeah, sounds like a
look at
plan
that. Neutral cards. We're gonna have to get this. So you guys can see right here, this is a melee card. Thanks, Duo Maximus. This is a melee card, and so he can attack. And we'll get into this. We'll get into this in a second. But the 6 mana melee card. Oh, look, he has armor. This is another thing, armor. And what happens is anytime a card's attacked, if there's armor, usually armor is hit first. Now there are rules like magic can bypass armor. There's a bunch of complexity that the game gets into, but we'll deal with that as we dive into it. So I think we need to play a match, don't you think, Chatter? I think we
should be hopping into some games here and just talk it through as we play.
Yeah, so let's going to go in here to battle. Now, what's happening right now is we are now matched with another player, and this player is I'm not even going to try to say this, but here's the other player. Here is their rank right now, their power, which is showing how much collection. Each card is worth some kind of collection power right here. Now, if you know, we have a timer, so we're going to have to move this quick. So we've got 13 mana. These are the standard rule sets, and everything's available. So let's create a team. This is the game platform. Now, with a timer, I'm not going to be able to talk everybody through everything, so we're going to have to move fast. But these are basically you get to play a summoner and up to 6 cards, but you're limited on what cards you can play based on mana. So, and that's what we talked about, this number up here. So, Liam, what do you think we should do for our first play on the stream? What's the play here? Like, what is your favorite?
We have a death quest, so why don't we use the death splinter there, just so we can start doing the quest.
Okay, sounds good. So we've got it down to Thaddeus Brood and Contessa Lament. I think an anti-magic here. Do that. Drop that.
Sure, let's run that way.
Probably a little bit expensive.
For sure. And things to consider here is because it is low mana, I mean, a lot of the time when you get to kind of higher ranks, it'll be okay, which summoner do you have leveled up more and more so you can play the higher level cards. But in this case, because we're playing with just a standard deck, everything's level one. Um, it is not too much contention there. It's really just okay, do we think that there's going to be anticipation? Do we want to look to potentially counter the deck if we see a whole bunch of strings of like one single splinter going? But those are things we can talk to kind of with the next game we jump into. So
we got a minute, so
with the
we're gonna have to
13
wrap
cost,
it.
I'd say.
Yeah. So we want to
Yeah.
have in our front usually a tank. So tanks usually have melee, so we want a little bit more health. So I'm gonna rush. So let's find a good cheap tank.
I like the Windeku just for the Thorn's ability.
Oh, I'm hearing the countdown. So okay, we got that. Then maybe put some magic behind it. Why not do a little? Oh, we need to go.
Okay.
We can throw another. Let's
I
see
would
if
say
we can get
the
it.
Life Sapper over Death Elemental too.
Oh well, we're gonna run. I'm gonna put him in front. Let him take a
Yeah,
shot here.
you have time.
Okay. What do you want? What do you want me to put in there?
And so hold up. So but the Carrion Shade is also going to be a better play than the Slime Ball there as well. It has one extra speed and one extra health.
Okay.
So, I mean, the nice thing is because it's like 3 minutes per hand. We don't need to rush this too much. But
Do you want to?
yeah,
Did you
and I
want
would
to swap
say,
out something in Death Elemental here? Do you
sure,
want
why
to
don't we do
swap
the
in?
Life Sapper instead, just so we can talk to a bit more abilities as we go here. I guess this
Okay.
one was a snipe. So either work. Let's we can run with either.
Okay. So now here's the battle screen. Once we submit our cards and our opponents submit their cards, we can actually see. We can actually see what happens here. So now this is the other player, and this is their summoner they chose, which they're taking a +1 heart here, which means each of their cards is going to get extra health. We put in a negative ranged, but if you notice, there's no ranged here. So this was a kind of we used it for the lower cost to be able to put more cards up. So we actually didn't get any benefit from this. So this is as you climb the ranks, this is something you want to do. So let's watch the match. Now when you get into the play, the match has already been determined. But you can skip the results and just see it. But we like to see all the animation of the game. So let's do this. So let's rumble this through here and watch this thing play out. And this is where it's gonna each card's gonna take its turn. There's the summoner. It just increased everybody's health. And because of the 3 here, these 3s are being able to go first. You can see them attacking here and getting extra life. There we go. Okay. Some thorns. That's that ability right there on thorns. So anybody that attacks this card is going to actually take damage. Oh yeah,
So there's
I'm
a couple
feeling
of different
good.
things we did there. Yeah, so I mean, like the one that we swapped out, the previous kind of magic user that we were using had snipes, so that would be attacking backline, but instead we went for life sapper just for a little bit more tankiness. So every time with the life leech, I think that's what it's called, the ability. Every time he hits, he's gaining an extra health point, and then with the Wayne Deku in the very first position, essentially it's thorns. So every time that they attack him, as Richard said, it's putting damage back in. So it's just really for that lowest cost mana, how can we get the most damage output possible there?
Yeah. So if you'll
But
notice,
nice, we're 100%. Hey, I think we just quit now. We're done.
yeah, the learn to play stream went 100% wins. Stream over. We're done. Just kidding. We're in the long haul. But there's 2 comments on this. You'll notice that right here, it says you need to get to bronze 2 to earn deck rewards. Right now, to start actually earning crypto for your wins, you need to rank up to level 2. Now, this is something we're tuning. This is something the team is always working on, trying to find the right level of rewards to balance it everything. So this might change in the future, but for right now, you need to get up to bronze 2. Here is how much rank we received for that match. And if you'll notice, our opponent did not drop, but they're still hanging in there. So hit close. So let's get another battle going. Let's just start getting these battle coins.
And just looking at the chat here too, someone was asking how minting and everything works for cards. I think Kira replied to it, but yeah, as reward cards have a mint cap and packs are set, there's like a limited number of packs set. And Richard, correct me if I'm wrong here, but because we're minting, like let's say a Chaos Legion is going to be 15 million packs that we're minting, does that mean that there can be essentially unlimited amounts of one card. Let's say if
You mean
15 million if it's
cards?
open in one pack.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So like right now we were selling right now 15 million packs. They each have 5 cards, and that's where you get up to the number of cards that are going to hit the market. And they will be minted when you open them. So they're not technically in play yet. So when you open them, minting is a fancy term on the blockchain, means we create them out of thin air. It's some magic, but they follow a certain set of rules, and we don't mint more than the rules allow, and that's what creates scarcity. So if you can notice here, we had a surrender where we went to match and they immediately surrender. This is something that we're probably going to run into in the lower leagues, where people either leave the match or whatever, and we're working as a team internally to try to address that so this doesn't happen continuously. But we're probably going to run into a couple of that right now because it's something that we're aware of and we're working towards. Oh, we got another
Yeah, I've
gift
noticed.
here. We'll look at that in a second. So now we've got a little bit more mana here, so we're able to pull in some heavier cards. That's pretty exciting. And you can see there's no guild recently played. Now, this is an interesting thing. Liam, can you tell us a little bit about the recently played here?
Yeah, so on the recently played, you can see up to 5 games that someone's recently played. Because there's only one, they've only other. Is that they've only played one game in their lifetime, Richard, or is that they've only played one game as of the past kind of X amount of days? Do you know how that's set?
I believe it's X amount of days because we don't keep a lot of history. We are doing right now around 8 to 10 million battles per day. So we have a very large volume of battles with all of our active users out there. So, but it's reasonable to assume that that player looks like it only played one player. So now we just had another surrender here. So we're gonna come back at it, keep swinging until we find somebody. Now we're ranking up. So even with the surrender, you'll notice our rank is going up. So we're still on this streak. We can quit anytime, Chatter, because we're still winning. Like we're still at 100%.
Yeah, and I've
We're
noticed
rolling
that
the
the
dice.
surrenders, yeah, I
Yeah.
think a lot of these are kind of either broken bots or whatever else it is. And I've noticed that it's generally quite bad between kind of novice to bronze 3. And this is where kind of more of the real players start to kick in. So again, it's stuff that we're aware of. We're trying to work out a lot of this. And I mean, as we kind of start playing against more bots and more real players, you're going to see there's going to be difficulty curves as we play kind of different sets of people and different sets of bots as well. And so I think those are things that we should potentially talk about as they come up, Richard, but kind of ways of how we've thought about addressing those difficulty curves and not matching people necessarily against like a new player against someone who's played 1,000 games lifetime, let's say.
Yeah, we actually started, the team has grown significantly. If you've been to our town halls, you've heard about it. But like literally our team went last July from being less than 15 people to our team is passing 80 people right now. So there's a lot more people on deck, and some of the projects we're doing is deep analysis into the matchmaking, and we're going to be improving that. So, Alec, we're here along with you guys to grow the game, to make the game better. So we're excited about that. Oh, but we are in bronze 3, so we made up to bronze 3. So we're excited to get here. Let's keep going. Get in our battle. So bronze 3 is okay. Here we go. No guild. Okay, and 14. So let's see if we can get actually in here and build something. What are we gonna do? We got our look at that, another
Oh.
surrender. We're gonna rank right up until there is a point where, and like you said, you said bot. Like, what does that mean? Look, a lot of Liam, can you talk to me a little bit about what a bot means in the context of Splinterlands? Because it's not the same as what I normally hear in another game. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a better kind of explanation, I guess, than I will work on the dev side of things. But a lot of the times when you hear the word bot, everyone sees it as like a very negative context. If you talk about it in like Counter-Strike or League of Legends or whatever, it's like, though there's aim bots where you're always going to get headshots in shooter games, or like League of Legends, you could have like scripts where it's like every time you cast an ability, it's almost guaranteed to hit the other player because of a script, and our bot is essentially manipulating or trying to read someone else's movements. And so it predicts kind of where they're going to be, and the likelihood of kind of being able to essentially cheat your way through the system becomes a lot easier. But in the sense of Splinterlands, it's we actually allow bots in the game. And so what people are doing is they're trying to create these scripts or these AI bots that are learning as they go and just saying, hey, you know what, we're going to look at the rule sets. We're going to look at all the different arguments and variables that are going into every single one of these games and try and actually sort out the best hand or the best win rate hand that's coming out of it. And so the nice thing is, I mean, especially in lower elo, I guess, they can be manipulated as well too, which is kind of fun, as well as the human player, because you can see oh, hey, looking at those last 5 games, maybe a bot's played the exact same hand the last 5 times. I think generally it's like the life Splinter from what I've seen. And so you can say, hey, great, we're going to look at what they're doing. We're going to figure out their patterns and we're going to actually try and counter them. And that's essentially what the bot's doing as well. And so it's cool to see how humans and bots can actually interact in like more of a coexistent environment in this game. Again, there are some times where people are saying, hey, but the bots playing right now, it's actually creating too much of a difficulty curve for new players. But again, we're looking through that. We're trying to find the best ways to address that as it comes. As Richard mentioned, it was a super small team a couple months ago, and we've kind of grown massively in size. Or as Aggie said, we kind of became an overnight success story for 3 years in the making kind of thing. So as everything goes on, we're trying to keep all these things in mind and keep to try to address them as they come up.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. Like, so it's less, but we are open to automation. We're not open to exploits, and that's what the team moves very quick to address any kind of exploits. But we are open to automation, or automation friendly is the right way to say it. And players are, but because the automation, our goal is that every account that plays has to collect power. They have to invest in the ecosystem. They have to be a part of it. So the goal is that every account, whether it's automated or not, is participating in the entire ecosystem of the game and economy of the game. So that's really kind of the goal there. Um, so and we will. I mean, like I said, this is a lot of things in our backlog that we're going to be doing to hopefully make these things be so much better. And I'm looking like I'm getting destroyed very thoroughly here. This player has obviously done a great job.
We want to speed it up a little bit just so we don't have
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the speed
So
right
nice
there.
thing there. And hey, that was a feedback suggestion, right? About the speed where you
Oh
can
yeah.
lock it now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. So we also have the feedback.splinterlands.com. So if you guys have any suggestions about how you want to kind of see the game moving forward, or if there's any little like dev fixes that you want for the game, that lock speed is actually one of the first ones that we did where after we set that kind of 3 times speed, it's now going to stay there for every single game. So that came from a community suggestion. Please feel free to keep them coming.
Warrant transaction. Oh my gosh. Like gold. What does this mean? Why is this card gold? What does that mean? And it's a level 3
Yeah.
warrant transaction. Thank you. You're
Thanks, Lauren.
ridiculous. This is a ridiculous card. We're gonna hold on this. Gold foil is a very exclusive thing that's very uncommon, and you can get it in chests and stuff like that. But makes this card. If you can see, he's already at level 3, which means he's packing some better stats than you're normally gonna see out there. Well, thanks, Warren. I really appreciate that. What do you want to do? I just threw down. I lost. I brought our first loss. So Liam, drive. Tell me what to go here. What's the play?
All right, let's run with Tarsa this time. So the Fire Splinter.
Okay, rocking it. What are we gonna
And I
do
think
for tank?
we should get the chat to figure out kind of what we want to play. So question to chat as we build this deck is what splinters do you want to see happen next, and what are your favorite cards that you guys like playing in the lower elo
Yeah,
here? So
let's do it.
I think the 10 Striker is one of my favorite cards right now, as well as Living Lava. Living Lava is, I mean, for those higher, yeah. And then yeah, so Antoid Platoon and Living Lava, I think both of them are quite strong right now, just with the I don't know what the actual name of the ability is, but it's weakening kind of melee and range attacks by 1 damage every single time. So super great card to have up front. Yeah, shield. Thank you, Ron. Ron's in the back end right now, just helping us with the stream. But yeah, so Fire Elemental is great with the blast ability there.
What about some snipe? What's some snipe in there? Spy
Sure, we can
is
run
the
with Snipe.
holy. Spy?
I mean,
Who is Spy? Like, which one is that? Spy. I don't think I might not have it. Sparks. What about the Elven Mystic? We've got some magic. We got some target. Do we want to mix in some magic too to kind of mix up the attack? Okay, thanks, Kevin.
I mean, I would go with Spark Pixies or like Save or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, Tarsa is better for melee for sure, hearing in the chat. So if we have like opportunity or sneak, that's realistically where we should be going for. So if we look at the melee champions instead of the mage and the range champions.
This is what we have left.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I gotta submit.
Yeah. So
Gotta
why
pick
don't
something. Pick
let's put
something.
Serpentine Spy in there.
Oh, I didn't see it. Hold on. I'll have to do it next time.
Yeah.
I just pick something.
I mean, I think there's also a little bit of coyote time there. So you don't need to put it in. And from what I found, at least, you don't need to have it submitted directly at that 0 second mark. You
Okay.
can essentially go a couple seconds over and still be safe there. But yeah, I think we're going to be a little bit screwed in this one just due to how it's set up here. So Antoid Platoon is just going to be sitting back there and doing nothing for
Well,
the
this
rest of
card
this
right
hand now.
here
And
has this one right here. The Goblin Psychic is healing the tank, so we're basically making it almost impossible for us to make inroads on that without killing him off. So that's where you saw like that really strong healing's pretty strong in the game. Coyote time. So
yeah, it was from like what Wile E. Coyote and Bugs Bunny. It was a whole like reference to him running off the cliff and then like pausing for a second and like running back onto
I
land
like
and
that.
everything. So it's being used in gaming for forever now. Like a lot of it was really just acceptance when you're playing like any platformers like Crash Bandicoot or something. You'd essentially have a couple steps over each ledge where you'd actually still be able to jump and everything. But fun little facts for the stream if anyone didn't know about that. So why don't we try
Oh,
Tarsa again and see what we can do here? Let's we got some
oh,
more time this time.
render. Gotta do this again. Yeah, I was thinking is okay, so here's somebody that's actually playing, right? Because we're seeing a couple of decks played here. So you're looking at this. Two of earth and two water. Looks like they're playing specifically two different decks whenever they need to. For 17.
Yeah.
Super
So
sneak team with Tarsa. So we're gonna do a super sneak. So you
all right,
can
let's do
actually
that.
pick. We can build if we go in here and we build. Where is sneak? Right there. This I only have one card. Super sneak, one card. Done.
You also put
That's
opportunity in there too.
opportunity. Okay, let's do
Yeah.
that. Opportunity.
And
Let's do.
then it
Oh,
looks like
oh.
they're
Go ahead.
so I put Serpentine Spy in there over the Parasitic.
Okay.
And then on top of that, it looks like they were using a lot of mage-based decks before. So do we have anyone with the void ability in this deck? I'm not sure if we do with the standard base cards for the fire deck, but we can double check.
Not seeing anybody that can.
Okay,
We
so
got
let's instead go
Serpentine
to like
Spine.
a higher health tank in the front instead of a one with armor, just for the reason being like if they do have magic, then armor is really negated, right? So it doesn't really matter. We're essentially losing a lot of the potential mana cost for building armor champion instead of just building like a higher health champion.
Is the Elven?
Radiated Brute is another one that we could potentially look at. It's
Okay,
like
there we
a
go. Do you want
that
that in the
super
front?
sneak team. So the reach ability.
You want him?
Yeah,
Do
sure,
you
we
want
can
him
run
in the
with that.
second spot so he can reach right here? Because reach means he can
I mean, he'll be
attack.
able to attack from either.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We can run with that. Yeah, I mean, with only 3 people for like a 17 mana cost, it's a high likelihood we're probably gonna get bounced a little bit, but we can see how this does.
Well, there's another thing I've seen where people build decks where they build a spam deck where it's like really cheap cards and just fill out the entire lineup so you can spam damage. Because technically for every point of damage that you put on the field. Okay, so one thing is all these cards are going to have to attack the mycyclic slip spawn because of this ability it has, which draws all the attacks when they attack. So, and that's 10 health. That's a lot of damage to crush through.
All right, we're
Yeah.
getting requests for renting after this, so we can always hit the market here and just see what we can get.
Okay. Oh, we won. We're back. We legitimately won this one. Now, one thing we were talking
Awesome.
about is ranking up, right? And if you notice right here, it's locked. We need power to get there. We need 370 more power to unlock this. So let's go back here and look at how much power we have. So we have 630 power, and this is thanks to these two cards. So you're kind of like wondering, why don't I know how much power each of these cards worth? Well, there is a way to find out. kind of right over here. There's a 5, and then there's a 500. So there's some of where the power is coming from is that number right there. We're planning on actually updating the UI to make it much easier to understand collection power. And that's what this is really referring to right here, the total amount of deck power that comes from your deck. So we got a little bit. I saw someone gifted us some these.
And we have a
Oh
gold card
yeah.
too, Richard, as
Oh
well.
yeah, right there. There it is. Take that off. There we go. So the gold card is actually feeding us 2, and that's feeding us 125. So there's the rest of our powers coming from. So now what you can do is like you're like looking at the situation, you're like, hey, I would really like to rank up. What you can do is you're like, okay, I need to get 370. So we have to go out into the market. Now there's two ways to get more power. Like you can permanently get power by buying a card. Now if you notice some of these cards, people are like they're serious about them, really expensive. So let's look at price cheaper. And then there's also these 4-cent cards. So these kind of cards are great. Now you can see the prices in both DEC and also I don't think you can you change the price on here? I think it changes if you go deeper. Look at that. Let's see here. Just see. But this is for sale. So this is like if we wanted to permanently get this card into our collection. If you look right here, the DEC, we click buy, it's going to ask us
Yeah,
9.4 DEC. So we could easily drop
let's not
9.4
go far about
DEC.
this one.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. So what I was actually trying to illustrate to people is that like one of these screens, if you'll notice, like this is the estimated dollar value of the card. And one of the things we're going to do soon and actually in the near future is true all this up. It's going to be really clear exactly why you're buying what you're buying and how much it is. And the reason a lot of these screens have evolved over the last couple of years to be what they are as we've added more and more sophistication. So we're actually going to be doing an effort this year to try to make the user's experience much easier to understand what's going on. Now, people that have been around for a long time, uh, totally like you figured these things out, but we want to make it really easy for everyone new just to kind of jump in and understand what's going on. So let's look at the rental market because actually that's where how do we take a little bit of DEC that we have here and actually get something useful from it? That's where the rental market right here you can see a lot of these cards for 1 day for us to play are not that bad. So why don't we pick up? What do you think we should pick up, Liam? What do you think is a great card for us to rent? Be our first rental on the stream.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to ask the chat that. So I've seen Chicken, I've
Yeah,
seen Ooze so far, and I've seen Mylor, the summoner there. So is there any cards that stand out to you guys that you want to rent here? And by all means, I can probably transfer some deck here if we really want to potentially look at higher
Gob
cards too.
the Goblin Mech. Okay, look at that. So here's where you can filter by summoners, which are the cards that allow you to choose which splinter of cards you can use during the match. This is the monsters, which help you show all the monsters. So we can then find see the Goblin Mech. Let's just see
So,
what that is.
yeah, and it looks like Chicken and Ooze are going to be the top two here. That's kind of overwhelming majority.
Okay, so chicken. What is a chicken doing in this game?
It's being a little
What
one cost
is
card that's going to be a little
what
frontline
is
tank for us. Or zero
yeah,
cost card,
but
sorry, not.
so what does this mean when it's 0? Chatter, why is it 0?
Yeah, so when you're actually queuing up to build your deck there, you can see there's certain mana costs for every single hand that we build. The zero cost mana cards don't take up anything. So it's essentially a free play card, similar to what the kind of legendary cards are for the Chaos Legion deck as well, with the different light, death, and the Earth Summoner legendary or Earth legendaries. They're not summoner cards, sorry.
Um
So
yeah, so we're gonna have to do this not on stream to reveal our keys. What are keys? What is this referring to? Active key or master password? What does that mean?
yeah, so
Chatter
every
like
account you're gonna have your like active memo posting keys and all that stuff, and they're all gonna be kind of different functionalities. So do you want to go into kind of the use cases of each different one there?
okay. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna do this. We had our stream master help us out here, so I'm gonna throw this in so we don't reveal anything secret. And it actually was dotted out, so it's actually fine.
Oh,
Uh,
perfect.
we get in here.
Sweet.
The rent. Oh, I don't want to rent it for 7 days. Want one. Just want one for today. See if we can get this. Okay, so we put in our active key, and this is something we'll actually go into a lot later. But you have the ability to get your keys. Hey, look at that. We've got this. And this is saying that we currently are renting it, and we've got it for 1 day. We spent a little bit of our dark energy crystals, which is some cryptocurrency in game. So now if we go over to our cards and we look at let's show them under owned. No, it just shows them playable, right? I would, you know
Yeah, it'll
what?
show
Rented
other
out, rented to
playable.
me. Rented to me.
As we're
Like, look at
doing that,
this.
hey Richard, as we're doing that too, do you want to show people how to get their keys as well? I know it's going to be kind of disappeared now that we've already requested those keys, but you show them where to get them.
Yeah, so if you go to your account, you can click request account keys and it'll get emailed to your email address. We highly recommend everybody does this right away. And then we recommend you put them in a very safe spot. And what we recommend you do is write them down, put them in a safe, something like that. One of the big things with wallets is these keys. These keys are what open your wallet to let you spend and use value from your wallet. So saving those off is very important. The other thing about keys that's really important to understand is there's actually four different types, or actually five different types of keys. Most common keys that you'll use on the site is your posting key, which is very think about it as the least permissible key that you have is your posting key. You can use it, you can be a little bit safe about it. It's generally tied to non-value transfer. It's like logging into your account, but it's not going to let you really do anything. The next level key is your active key, and that's what you have to use to do any transfers of value like purchases, rentals, etc. So that's where you can kind of make sure that you don't give anybody. You never want to share these keys. You never want to, send them an email. Like you really want to get them an email. You want to delete the email. You really want to protect your keys. There's this whole saying in crypto, not my keys, not my crypto. It means that like if you don't have your keys secured, you're going to lose your crypto because people can just pull it right out of your wallet. So, anyways, that's where you can go find it. We've got the chicken. I want to get back into a battle and try this chicken out. See if we can get a
Yeah,
battle
and so I
going.
think why the chicken is so important too, and I know someone was kind of saying that it's a super high win rate out of all the cards in the game right now, but a lot of it's because it's a zero cost, so you can use it. And of course, we got a 99 mana
Of
game right there
course,
with a zero cost card, but
this is basically
it's
throw your heaviest cards possible. Heaviest cards possible, which I actually love the 99. This is one of my favorite. It's just you go pick the highest cards and cost doesn't matter. What do you got? So what's our best summoner? What do you guys think? What should we go after here? Someone drop me a thing here in the Twitch feed. Loved
I'm
Obsidian.
seeing Obsidian.
Okay, on it. Okay, guys, we're gonna go. Just here's the most expensive card. So this is where we should be looking here. Obviously, I think we know we want the healing, right? The Goblin Psychic to be somewhere in our mix.
Yeah, and
Probably.
I think the Unicorn Mustang and Mycelic, yeah, those two cards can go in right away as well.
Yeah, put them like that. Put the mycelic in the back a little bit. You're saying green magic. Okay, let's see what some magic. Here's all our magic options. So we can build up in the back lines. We've got a lot of health in the front line. So we can put some damage in the back line. Got the healer. I want to look at that. Well, we're gonna get an extra because of obsidian, right? We get a +1 to magic. So all these cards are gonna do extra damage. So we've got three of them. Which one? You just pick the top here. We get health. We got a 6,
So we
and
put Rico at the back line too, because it's flying. So if anything's trying to like use an opportunity to sneak ability, there's potential to miss as well.
okay, let's do that and get Bajin in here. Put it back there like that. There. How does that look? What do you think about this lineup, guys? The flying horse. Yep, got that. Let's see what this does.
And so,
Okay,
question
here
for
we go.
everyone there too is: when you guys play these Magic decks, would you rather play like a full Magic hand there, even though some of the costs are going to be lower mana cost cards in the middle of that deck, or do you rather use like 3 or 4 Magics and then put like maybe 2 more high cost cards that are like Rangers or people with like sneak abilities or something? Let's just say if you have the cards there.
I'm watching this go on. Look at that healing. That Mustang is just sitting there, just taking that damage, and then the healer comes in, swoops in, and just restores so much health. Back to 5. Jeez. Oh, we're just look at that healing. Just brings it back to life. Ridiculous. Oh, we
Yeah,
finally
and
lost our
so
front.
I was gonna say, like, is it potentially different too if they get like first attacks and stuff there? Because I know a lot of it comes down to like unicorn versus unicorn at that kind of middle stage where you have your two void kind of champions on either side, trying to tank it out. So you can see there they actually came back to win it. But there's a lot of different attack speed and like who attacks first that goes into those decks too. Just because again, it's going to be like almost a fairly stalemate hand there, but all those
Oh,
good
that
things to
makes
think about.
sense. We didn't win, but it was a pretty. There was a lot of fireworks going on there. I saw a lot of damage flying back and forth. We definitely threw him down to only 2 cards. I felt good about it. It wasn't exactly what I wanted out of it, but it felt better than like only not killing any of their cards. Okay, so now we're gonna get that chicken in play. Okay, here we go. They're using life, some fire, they have some earth, and some more fire. So there's a lot of two. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so now we got that chicken. What are we thinking here, guys?
Yeah, and also for the last deck too, you get learning experience there is we put the healer too far forward, so our healer died first, and that's kind of essentially why we lost that fight there.
Yeah. Actually, you know what would be interesting? If we had put it further back, we could have ended up in a stalemate situation
Yeah.
almost because it would have been healing and then would eventually like there's a thing called fatigue after you reach a certain point. So we definitely want chicken in there, definitely, since we own that.
Yeah.
What's the
So
play here?
let's go Kalia. I saw someone say Kalia. A water
Oh yeah.
splinter.
Okay, water splinter, got it. And where's our chicken? Okay, chicken, come out. We summon you, chicken. There. Oh, what is this? Another 0 card? I feel like yes. Okay, got 2 zeros. We haven't spent any
Did
mana
we get
extra.
gifted?
Someone give us a torrent fiend? I don't know where these
It looks
coming
like
from.
we've been delegated a whole bunch of cards here.
Okay. So what are we gonna put as our? Do we want a melee like right here? So what's the play here, guys?
Did we
Dijin?
see what they were using for their deck previously?
There was life, 2 fires, and an earth. I think. I feel like
I
we need
really
a
like the Cephalopod there as a tank, that 3-cost little lobster looking guy.
this guy.
Yeah.
Tethrapod? Yeah, he's a nice. He has a lot of. Has like 3 armor, 4 health. That seems pretty solid. What about
Yeah,
this?
either that or you can run with the Jin also as like a void tank, as a magic tank.
What are we saying? Well, these are the Djinn. Like, well, there's one Oshanas. Wow, man, I love. This is one of the first cards when I was playing after season end. I got one of these and I was playing it forever, especially in bronze. He's so tanky. Look at that,
Right.
10. We only have 7 left, so we've got to come up with. No, this card's interesting. It brings characters back to life. Should we play that? Put our thing in and like see how crappy it goes.
Sure, if you want to, let's go for it. I think like personally, if we're
Or
running, we don't have time. I'll just like let's put some cards down and we can talk about it after.
yeah. Yeah, I know people are throwing cards in our deck here because I'm seeing cards that you don't normally start with. But yeah, guys, we're not trying to play just to get cards from you guys. We're trying to start kind of play small and build our way up.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
okay.
so
We don't revive it freaking here.
this guy, one of his abilities is revive, so he'll revive each card once. Oh, and there it comes.
It's
Chicken's
just the
back,
first card that I'll revive.
and he's gone, and he's back. Oh, it's just the
Poor
first. He
chicken.
does it once. He just does it once.
Yeah, it's only the first card.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, well, this is. Oh, I saw the 0 there.
Okay, I think we still win this because their archers now can attack. So the front archer will never be able to attack unless it has the I'm forgetting the name of the ability, but the ability that essentially allows archers to attack in that front position. So once we hit the back line there, it was pretty much a auto win.
Yeah, looks good. So if you hover over here, you can see we need 231 to get to bronze. Oh, look, bronze 2. So, well, technically, must be getting some cards here because I'm like, what's happening here? If I
I
look
was
at
going to say we
here,
probably have an
I think people,
FTP.
let's see what's,
Yeah, so here's 12,000.
so there's, you guys noticed, this doesn't usually happen to players when they first start out. This is a lot of power that's been delegated to us. Some people are having a good time and being friendly and helping us out here. Um, but these cards are what actually another player owns, and they've actually said, "Hey, you can play with my card." Now we don't own that card, but that card gives us some power to be able to climb the ranks and stuff. So we, so
Sure.
we're
And Richard, I know
yeah.
we have to kind of wrap up in a couple minutes here. Do we want to do a giveaway for that one Jin card that Unit QM donated to us?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Let's see what we actually own here. Own cards. So we got that Dijin. Yeah, let's do a raffle. Let's give it out.
Awesome. Okay. I know we don't have like many stream bots, so I'm just going to do this manually here. So everyone who wants to be a part of the raffle, just do exclamation mark raffle in the chat for now. And I'm just going to manually pull those and just wheel name it.
So Chatter, what are you thinking? How did you feel about the stream tonight while we're doing that raffle? Did you feel good about this? Like, and guys, tell us what you think. What did you think? Did you like hanging out with us, hearing a little bit about the game, us playing the game, talking about it? I know we're not perfect, and we're not professional streamers, although Chatter's had some experience with that, but we're just doing this to hang out with you guys. So you guys let us know. Drop us in chat. Let us know. And if you guys are liking it, we'll be back. We're gonna keep being back. We're gonna do this for a bit, see if everybody likes it, and hanging out with you guys, talking about it. Really, there's a lot to this game. I always like to describe this game to people that it's like a iceberg. Like you walk in with PayPal $10, and all of a sudden you wake up and you own land. And I, if you understand what that can mean, there's so many ways to earn to play. There's so many ways you can invest in cards and hold them and buy and sell them. You can earn money from renting. You can earn money from so many different avenues. But one of the things that our one of our founders and both of our founders were actually talking about this, but Aggie, one of our founders, was saying we really want to build a screen that shows the player all the which ways that they're earning and make it really clear. And that's something we would love to see happen for you guys and the players. It'd be really exciting. Um, so how did that raffle go? Were we able to find somebody to give that away to?
Yeah, spinning it as we speak right now.
It's happening. It's happening.
All right. Sub-Axis is the winner of the giveaway here.
That's awesome.
So, sorry, I think that's playing out of my actual speakers instead of my headphones. But Sub-Axis, can you tell us your IGN, and then we'll get that to you.
Oh. And so before we close, Chatter, any last words you want to say to anybody before we have to drop off here?
I would just say thank you for tuning in and streaming. Apologies for a little bit of a makeshift setup today. Again, I was supposed to have a green screen behind me, so instead I'm living in a bit of a tombstone. For those of you who don't know, I live in Canada, and we got about 1.5 feet of snow this week, so all of the deliveries have been postponed right now, and my internet also is a little bit blurry because of that too. But hopefully for next week, it'll be a lot more crisp. I'll have a green screen behind me, and things will be a lot smoother. But thank you again for bearing with us and for tuning to this stream. Really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. That was Chatter just saying hi, and I'm Hardpoint. We're from Splinterlands. We're excited to be here. Hopefully, we'll see you guys next week and have a great weekend. Talk to you guys later.
Awesome. Thanks very much.